Sky Striker, Vanquish Soul, and even the unbridled power of Gem Knights. Sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Scott. I think this is one of the most interesting lists that I got the chance to see out of this weekend's YCS because it just proves that, Sky Striker actually is a little bit of a formidable deck right now. I do find it interesting, though, that they did choose to actually play Ash Blossoms in the main deck. I guess it's one of those cases. It's like, hey, if I need to have a monster, the commit or something to actually manually link climb, or I need this obviously as a hand trap to kind of control the opponent. You have that, it's these little sorts of tools that I don't necessarily think are bad. Now I do see that, wow, we really dusted off a lot of the old techs. We have the shark cannon, we have the jamming waves, obviously area 0 is going to be a one of. We've also got triple super poly in the main deck. So the fact that they were actually relying on Super Poly to be a naturalized board breaker for this deck, I think is kind of refreshing. We're also side decking the Hamp as you need to. We've also got Afterburners and Multi-Roll both in the side deck. I am too clutching on multi-roll. Maybe it's because I haven't learned all the combo lines yet, but that's definitely an important thing. Also, only going with 2 thrust feels a little bit weird, but there are some scenarios where you do see the multiple thrust and you're just like, why do I choose to play 3 of this? We are also side decking the 2 spiritual water art owie, getting that key hand rip off of ending on, the Shizuku pass is usually going to be a little bit interesting. Also do see that we are choosing to play the access code talker in here. I can tell you, having played this deck, I do miss the access code talker a lot. Being able to pivot into this to break apart boards is such a nice feeling. Like, I do miss this card a lot. Next up here, we have Vanquish Soul. There was a single Vanquish Soul in Top Cut, and honestly, I am shocked shitless to see that this deck was able to do well. Now, in terms of, how bad this deck is in its state, I mean, Rosin and Stake Your Souls, both being hammered down on the limitations that they are, is just so rough. I do see, though, that we did make some concessions here. We actually chose to have Ghost Reapers be on the call up here just as kind of a card that you're going to need. Now, what card are you hitting? We're going all in on the Yummy Snatchy. The fact that we didn't have the Lunalight here either feels a little bit weird, but I can understand, like, you don't really want to dedicate a side slot to it either, because you need to have as much crammed in here as you can, and I think they've done a good job at that. Obviously Nash Knight's still going to be taking up a couple key components here, but obviously, if you can get to the Umbral Horror, it does really help out closing out the game. I do see that we side decked the Called by the Grave. We also have the Tact Talents in the side. We've also got the There Can Only Be One if you need it. We also have the Perulias now on the side deck, which is fine. You're also going to see that the build also chose to play the Doggeron. Having an actual main decked Kaiju that's fire is going to feel really stupidly good in a lot of your matchups. I can definitely tell you, just having access to this is going to make your life feel a lot more consistent along the way. And yes, we were playing the Saruja. I mean, using Saruja to dig further into the deck actually works out pretty well. So your takeaways with this deck looks good. Honestly, I think this deck might actually be one of the funner options that you can have. Gem Knights. So, Gem Knights right now are still in the same ignorant state that they were in before. Your job is to go second and try to clean the game up as quick as possible, which is going to have to be within that turn. If the deck ends up, or if you end up going beyond that one turn, you have nothing on your field. Your opponent's going to be able to just OTK you back if they've got enough setup, and that's a little bit of a problem. But you've got so many negation style cards in here, having the chalices, the droplets. You have so many tools to just throw at your opponent. It's actually kind of scary. Obviously, Cellbane good stuff, the scatter fusions are going to help. You're also going to notice down here in the side deck that we're kind of doing some off-the-wall stuff. You're going to notice that there is an Archlord Christia down here. We obviously have the Crystal Rose, which does kind of help with some of the pivot, but you're also going to notice we have Vingolf's Blessing down here. So this actually turns your deck into we can drop the Archlord Christia as fast as possible. So I know, right? Having Gem Knights be able to pivot their game plan from a going second deck, because the minute your opponent sees you're playing Gem Knights, they're going to make you go first. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, oh no, what are we going to have to deal with if we make this deck go first? What, a droplet and a single imperm? No. It actually turns into I know you're going to make me go first, so I'm going to go ahead and smoke screen into this Archlord Christia, and my job is going to be to tear you apart, because now you're like, oh, well, I don't have anything for this Archlord Christia, and now, you're going to be fighting a really weird game 3 of going first, going second. It's what happens. Next up, we also have Malice here. Malice very much shocked me this weekend. I was very surprised to see that not only did Malice get second place, but just coming off of the events here, I did not expect to see Malice doing as well as it has. I mean, Malice cards have already been kind of spiking up a little bit in terms of value. It's bound to happen when you come through an event like this and you see, oh, hey, players are actually actively looking at this. This isn't just one of those off of the wall particular, bad things. No, this deck actually was a real deck. Just because you have one Dormouse and 2 White Rabbit doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. You're also going to notice, whoa, shucky darn, TB11 is back. We also have the MTP07, and we've actually got the GWC in the side deck for this, which is such a wild thing to see that, we've shifted back on the traps, because most of what the community has believed for so long was having, all 3 of these traps be available to you is actually terrible. You're going to make no advancements if you're choosing. No, that time and that level of thinking is gone, because you no longer have the Splash Mage to revive to continue up the links. Your deck actually has to make some concessions now for its consistency. I think that's fine. You're also going to notice, yes, we are side decking Dimensional Fissure. Di-Fi, as problematic and annoying as this card is, I do think that it is a necessary evil that we do kind of have to continue to rely on for the sake of the game. Like, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Good Floodgate is good. Outside of that, I mean, this was the 9th place Malice list. I am incredibly happy to see it doing well. And then we also had some Crystron good stuff. Now, the fact that Crystron has been, I'm not going to say like necessarily falling off, but its age is starting to show after the inclusion hit, because now the deck has to kind of go down some other paths and the things that it can do. Now, one cool tech choice down here. See, we are doing this little Hat Rabbit into the Apophis, the Swamp Deity. Now, you're already going to have a trap card face up. You're going to have the Crystron cluster up and running, and that'll be your little bits and pieces that you're going to be like, oh, hey, I can run combo line with this. And honestly, I think it works out. Obviously, the Apophis is going to be very nice. You do see we do have access to the Clockwork Knight here. Being able to pull this up is usually a very, very stupidly annoying thing we have to deal with. We're also going with 2 Chaotic Elements, triple copies of Case Canine. So every canine monster that you've got as a 3 of is now going to be 8 of copies that you'll have access to. And obviously, Scrap Recycler off of the bridge for this isn't broken. And yes, we are playing the Quinguri. This list doesn't have any real broken floodgates to kind of abuse, but I mean, that's fine. You just access this if you need to get some level 5s floating back into rotation. That's fine. Also side decking Raigekis and Thrust to be able to, do the dirty stuff that this deck has to do. But this YCS taught me one thing. There are some very interesting little methods of tech choice within this format. Even though the format looks figured out, these little things are what's really making it right now. So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.